I am going to very quickly introduce our featured speaker, who is somebody I had the privilege of meeting recently through our Gen Turkey partner, Hillel. And he impressed me so much that I really wanted to make sure that others within the Caribbean and within our COESL and Gen Caribbean partnership could hear his thoughts, because as Ms. Gordon says, complementary capitalism is what we preach, and his thoughts really resonate with what our model is. So he is from Turkey, as you know. He studied a double major in international relations and psychology at the University of Virginia. But what I really want to focus on is the fact that he is currently the strategic planning manager at Alarko Holding in Turkey. But he's done so many things. He is a board member at a university, School of Business. He worked as a consultant in Brussels and Washington, representing interests of Turkish companies in their efforts to harmonize practices and expand towards Europe and the USA. When he returned to Turkey, he joined Alarko, and he worked as a marketing analysis and operations supervisor at its tourism group. And, you know, he was in charge of direct brand management, pricing, campaigns, customer satisfaction, and communications activities. So he really is a people person. And the heart of what we do is a balance of making money, yes, but also doing good. If we're making money and not doing good, something is wrong. And I think we have spent a lot of time in the world making money and not doing enough good. And so we have gotten to where we are right now. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Garrett. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Dr. Brendan. It's a real pleasure and honor to be amongst you fine ladies and gentlemen. And thank you for the kind words. And it's a true pleasure, as I said. And welcome, everyone. Thanks for being involved and sacrificing your most valuable asset. Many people think that the most valuable asset is money. However, money comes and goes. I believe the most valuable asset is time, because time flies by, never to come back. So thank you for allocating your most important asset and resource. Being together is super valuable. And thank you again for the kind words, Ms. Brandon, but I really don't think it matters who I am, because we need to forget about egos and go from ecosystems to ecosystems. At the end of the day, when there are big egos, there's so much one can do, and at the end of the day, we learn from others, and it's all about team spirit. There is no I in team. So I believe that we mold ourselves and become whoever we are through others. So thank you for making me who I am, Ms. Brandon, and all esteemed participants. Now, if everyone can just mute their mics, will be great. So there's no echo. Thank you. Time is scarce, so I'll do my best with the time allowed. Again, welcome. Your presence is a true honor, as I said. We're talking about entrepreneurship in this conference. However, I think that at the end of the day, we're talking about leadership as well, because leadership consists of entrepreneurial spirit. Whatever we do, whether we're startupists or whether we do other things in other avenues in life, we need to have purpose. We need to have meaning. We need to have entrepreneurial spirit. It's not possible to distinct the private and professional life, especially now in the post-COVID new normal phase, where we're continuously with technology and we're continuously communicating with others. So I think we need a holistic approach. And the Japanese actually came up with a great term called ikigai. And I urge all of you to find your ikigais if you haven't, and if you have, help others find their ikigais. Basically, we are all the leaders of our own worlds, right? It's like a video game, and we're continuously with our thoughts, and we need to discover the leader within us. And on top of that, we need to help others discover the leaders within them. What I'm saying is a new mathematical equation. 1 + 1 should equal 3. In this new age, or even in such a esteemed forum, 1 + 1 should equal infinity. Otherwise, 1 doesn't even equal 1. Like snowflakes, if you put just one snowflake on your thumb or on the top of on the edge of your finger, what would happen? It would dissolve. It would turn into water, gas. wouldn't be what it was before. But if we put many snowflakes at once in one place, what happens? Then they stick. Then you create a snow mountain, and you can even ski or snowboard on it. By the way, talking about skiing and snowboarding, I mean, being together virtually with our avatars is great, but I really hope that next year I will be able to come and spend some time on the beach as well. I mean, it's all about nature and connecting with others and, you know, spending quality time. That's how we can work better with one another once we know one another, right? And that's how we create cooperation, global cooperation. But long story short, we need to find our ikigais. What's an ikigai? It's a Venn diagram of 4 different things that you can find at once. What we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, as Miss Brandon said, and how we can make a living and an earning, because that's also important. Once we find all these 4 things together, then we find the raison d'être, as the French say, the meaning of life. Now, sometimes it's hard to find it just in one avenue, so we should carry many hats. I'm an academic, a business person, I'm active in the NGO realm, and that's how I aspire to find my ikigai. Now, we look at the post-COVID-19 world, and I would like to use a quote by Lenin. He said it quite succinctly. He said, "Some centuries pass like weeks, some weeks pass like centuries," right? Time is relative. Time is time-space anyhow, it warps. But long story short, now time is passing really quickly. The decisions we make now will have huge repercussions in the future. There are going to be permanent digital, psychological, anthropological, social, economic impacts that will last even after the health hazard passes. And algorithms are coming to play. AI machines are coming into play. We have already reached singularity. Humanity and machines have integrated into one. But now we're coding them. They'll become the way that we teach them how to become. Now, we need to be good role models as we're becoming one with them, and that's very important. And here, entrepreneurs, here, innovation management comes into play. There's so much to do. And look, we look at how the world works, and unfortunately, there's a lack of trust, lack of cooperation, the me first, right? The Trumpism, but that's not a good rationale for for the post-COVID new normal, because threats to others are also our threats. That is why right now is the time for globalism. A true nationalist today, I believe, should be a globalist. We're seeing exponential change. We're seeing the doubling of information accelerating more and more. You know that in the 1900s, it will take 100 years for the information to double. In the 1960s, 40 years. 2015, 13 months. Now, less than a year. Meaning, the doubling of information soon will happen in less than 12 hours. Imagine. So it's basically, if I give you, if look at this paper, if it's 1 centimeter wide, how many times do we need to fold it so it reaches from the ground to the moon? Now, most people would say millions or infinity. 43 times. If we could have, again, it's a hypothetical. Why? Everything is changing faster and faster. That's what I'm trying to show, like the paper trail. I look at different technologies or different industries, especially where startups are focusing on biotech, 10,000 times cheaper than it was 7 years ago. Solar energy, 200 times cheaper than it was 30 years ago. Neurotechnology, 45 times cheaper than it was 5 years ago. We look at these industry 4.0 technologies. They're just means to an end. The German came in 2011 and said industry 4.0 to create a more efficient industry. But then in 2017, the Japanese came about and said society 5.0. It's not just about industry, not just about, of course, we love algorithms and data and blockchain and Internet of Things and 5G. But if we don't do it towards a sustainable society, towards nature, towards children, towards women, then there is no rationale for it. And there are a lot of threats, digital dictatorships. I mean, now they know what we think, how we feel. On top of that, like Cambridge Analytica showed us, they can control our thoughts. So we don't want to become a data colony. Look, I believe the world is going to get divided into three classes. The first class of countries, of organizations, of startups, of people, of individuals are going to be those who are showing the way, who are innovative, who are creative, who are using these technologies, who are putting the young generation at the front lines, and who are courageous and brave, and they will show us the way. and you need to take risks, and it's not easy, of course. On the other hand, the second class will be those who hop on the train but do not show the way. But they have enough power to hop on the train, and they can import technologies, import an iPhone, have the power to import, but not to create an iPhone themselves and export it. Now, the third class would be those who cannot even catch the train, those who are stuck at the desert, those who die, those individuals and countries and organizations. Now, in order for us, for the Caribbeans and Turkey, we need to support one another, because we need to be those who show the route, those who show the way. And to do that, we need to collaborate.
I'm sorry, 1 minute, please mute your mics, everybody, please. We're getting feedback. Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brad. And to do that, we need to follow the guiding principles of the New World Order. And I believe those principles are first and foremost cooperation. And I'll give you an example. There was a business, true story. There was a business person who bought a land believing there's a gold mine there, because there were gold mines around. But whatever he did with his team, he couldn't find the gold. He was just about to give up. But right before giving up, he started a contest on the internet. Whoever finds my gold gets $1 million. Someone found that gold for $3.2 billion worth of gold. And whoever found it got $1 million. Everyone is happy. Everyone is a happy camper. And if they wouldn't have started that competition with that collaborative approach, that gold would have never be found. Second principle, transparency. Look at Snowden, look at WikiLeaks. The best medication, the best medicine is sunlight. I mean, you would know this best, I guess. And sharing, of course. Look at Tesla sharing all of its IPs, all of its patents, all of its intellectual property, and still it's the biggest car manufacturer. Even bigger than Toyota when you look at its stock value, although it's hardly producing any cars. Sharing is key. Who would believe that before sharing patents was credible? And of course, access to power, influence. The young generation is becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. Those who say I can and those who say I can't are both usually right. In order for us to find our purpose in life, let's start from the easy part. What's the meaning of life? I think that touching others with our gifts, whatever our gifts are, whatever our potentials are, is to find it with the correct systems, with the right teams, so we can cause a multiplier effect and benefit society. The more we give, the more we get. It's a paradox, but it works. Of course, we need economic logic to further support environment and humanity. And for that, we need true leadership skills under pressure. It's not easy to have empathy today, to be creative, to be able to listen, to provide hope, show accountability and whatnot. These are true things that require high levels of intelligence, but the highest levels of intelligence, I think, humility, modesty, kindness, good intention, and of course, integrity. We need to run together. And for that, we need to answer why, not only how to do something or what to do. Why are we doing it? Answer the golden circle. And there's so much to do and so much to talk about. I mean, I think the main three themes for the future, whatever we do, is to create platforms, to create data platforms where we can get more data so we can do whatever we do in a more efficient way. How do we organize our job, our work? How is the organizational scheme? Is it agile? Is it omni-channel supported? Which tasks, which jobs should we perform? How is the employee experience? How is the UX of employees? This is super important for entrepreneurs to focus on. We need to have cognitive, holistic organizations. We need platform-based smart business models. We need real-time data collection, not collecting data from Excels. That's outdated. We need holistic shareholder insight, stakeholder insight, better mobile experiences. What I'm saying is, long story short, move from profit to purpose. I'm not saying forget about profit. When you focus on profit, you don't get it. When you focus on purpose, or as a side note, it comes as a byproduct. No more hierarchy, no more top-down network management. It's not about control anymore. It's about empowerment. No more just planning with fear, experimental approach. What's Facebook motto? Break it and then apologize. Otherwise, how would there be innovation? No more secrecy. It's all about transparency. Now, when we focus on these agile structures, we need to think about infrastructure management, about our cloud, our servers, our platform, process management, how we mobilize remote working, and of course, innovation management. Now, these are not easy to do, but whatever we do, we need to become data companies. And accordingly, me and my friend, together with our team, started a new venture to create a digital marketplace and a mobile hub for the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And with your permission, with the little time left, I'd like to show you a very short part of this presentation, just to give you an idea on what we're focusing on when it comes to the entrepreneurial realm. Ms. Brandon, can you just confirm that you can see the presentation right now? Can you see? Yeah, I can see it. Perfect. Okay. So our venture's name is To Be Unicorn. And here our mission is to integrate all the stakeholders within the ecosystem.
No, with somebody else.
It's super important.
No, I was going to start video.
Okay, I muted that person. I can mute this.
Okay, all right. Yes.
Great. So we need to integrate all stakeholders. Now, who are we talking about? The academia, governmental institutions, the private sector, artists, everyone. And why do we need to do that? In order to create new unicorns, be it Turkish, be it Caribbean, be it global. We're here to create global unicorns. And in order to do that, we need, of course, a strong entrepreneurship platform and ecosystem. And it's on the rise all over the world, also in the Caribbean. It's lovely to see. I mean, so many stakeholders. And again, thank you for the holy work, Dr. Brandon and all other people involved. And whilst it's on the rise, we see that capital is streaming towards startups, not just from VCs and angels, companies, banks. Why? Because we know that that's the source of innovation. Now we look at the unicorn history throughout the globe and look, up until 2014, there were just one or two every year, and Uber and Elon Musk, SpaceX, Spotify, really things that are hard to attain. But since 2014, exponential multiplier effect from all over the globe, be it India or even Turkey got its first unicorn a couple of months ago, Peak Games, a video game company. Now, it's not only for innovation creation, employment. Look at today's world in COVID. McKinsey is saying that by 2030, half of the jobs will be automated and a third of the workforce won't have a job. This is serious stuff. We need to create employment. 4 out of 5 new jobs are created by 5% of new and fast growing companies. So this is a huge source of employment, naturally, and job creation. And on top of that, capital creation, wealth creation. Since 1980, most of us remember the 1980s. It's nothing. Since 1980, 95%, almost the entire global capital created is owned by entrepreneurs. Where are all the Exxons and Coca-Colas? It's all Alphabets and Ubers and Apples. But we see a vicious cycle in most countries other than the States. The States attracts $70 billion in the startup ecosystem. In Turkey, it's still 100 million. I'm not sure how it is in your country or in your region, but we see a vicious cycle. Lack of trust, few exits, a relatively underdeveloped Silicon Valley culture, and a lot of scattered offline support systems, incubators and but they're all scattered offline. There are a lot of information biases, few funds, and hardly any incentive plans, which is why we need to get all these stakeholders, which I mentioned before, all of them to play together. And for that, we need to create grants, establish technoparks, incubation centers, accelerators, and incentives in order for us to show the way and not just hop the train or miss out on the train and then die, basically. Basically, we need to create new Silicon Valleys. This issue doesn't only concern entrepreneurs, it concerns everyone, employment, wealth creation, it concerns all of society. So although we have different cultures, we need to strive toward the same goal. And at the end of the day, true success, and Ms. Brandon knows this best, true success is enabling others. True leadership is getting many leaders run together. Being successful is not becoming an Elon Musk or a Susan from YouTube. Being successful is making others successful, because then you create a multiplier effect. If you become an Elon Musk of sorts, you can only run for 30, 40 years. But if you create many or help others and give them the vehicles and the systems, then it's much more worthwhile. And accordingly, we established To Be Unicorn. And To Be Unicorn is our venture where we're basically creating a digital hub and an online marketplace, and basically a city where we provide the infrastructure and create synergies and integrations between all stakeholders. So 1 + 1 would equal infinity. Thank you so much for the time allocated. I really appreciate it. Again, it's a true honor. I would just like to end with a quote by Rumi. In Turkish, we say Mevlana. And really, we adore him in Turkey and I think all over the world. And he says the following: "This is your path. Others may walk it with you, but no one can walk it for you. So at the end of the day, you can listen to a lot of advice, but you should follow your heart, find your ikigais, run with the right teams, with responsible businesses, with strong structures, so we can make the world a better place. And of course, earn some money and have economic logic. So it can,
Alison.
again, thank you so much for the time. I wish you all the best of luck. And thank you. And I hope again to see you on the beach next year, hopefully. Keep safe. And remember, nothing, the Buddhists say that nothing is good or bad. Everything depends on how we see it. So good things might turn into bad things might turn into good things. At the end of the day, what we need to do is, I think, again, it's just my 2 cents, is focus on the best that we can do. And rather than focus on the rain or on the environment, focus on what we can do accordingly. Most importantly, internalize our mission, use our time well, and grow with others. Basically, find ourselves with others, as I said. It's all about ecosystems rather than egosystems. Thank you so much, with my utmost respect and appreciation. Thank you, Ms. Brandon, and all you valuable ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.